so there's no question that OPs can range from fantastic to awful, and their songs skippable to catchy. And while openings do also vary just as much in terms of information conveyed, I think every OP has some degree of merit. I just want you to keep that in mind going forward, okay? Okay. The opening for My Girlfriend is a Gal starts off by panning through a conversation on a smartphone while clips of the titular girlfriend getting ready flash up on screen. Now, I can't read Japanese, but I can only assume that these texts between teens contain the cultural equivalent of bae and its lit fam. As we reach the conclusion of these messages, we see the camera flip as the title of the show fades in, likely implying that this last one referred to something about their relationship. It could also be referencing how our protagonist's life got turned upside down with the introduction of this new woman in his life. Either way, we next see the word like in large blue letters in time with the singer saying the same, and a little bit later we see the word love presented in the same fashion. This is convenient as you don't risk the viewer overthinking things. It's literally spelt out for you. It also puts the idea in our mind of what could come next in this L-word progression from like to love. Now they can't show that one on TV, obviously because of the implications, but I think we can all piece together what it is. Labor. What? Anyways, between these words, we see our main character walking on his way to school. We get this sense of lonesome he's likely feeling conveyed by everyone else in the shot walking on the opposite side of the road. This changes though as his love interest enters from the bottom, and as we can see, she dwarfs everyone else on screen, reinforcing the idea that she will be a very large force in the narrative. I mean, the title's literally all about her. But as this opening exchange continues, we see that those background characters seem to have vanished. Now, I think this could be representative of how when you first find yourself in a relationship, you enter that honeymoon phase where the rest of the world just falls away and you see no one else but them. That, or it's just an oversight, but I really doubt it. What comes next are a series of shots establishing the supporting cast of the show and confirming what we've all been thinking from the beginning, that this is indeed another harem. Wait, you're telling me it's not a harem series? Are you sure? Positive. Okay, I stand corrected then. I guess these shots are here to teach us not to worry. Even if you think the one has gotten away, there are still other very busty fish out there in the sea, so don't fret. And actually, these shots, as short as they are, still manage to convey a surprising amount of information. With this first girl, we see that as fit as she is, she still takes care of her body. She isn't starving herself, and it appears to be paying dividends. This shot might also imply a subtle hint of hostility towards our MC if you think about the imagery for long enough. Next we get a very short shot of girl B just looking cute. Or so you might think that's all that's going on, but I want to draw your attention to this thing she's got wrapped around her hair right here. It appears to be some kind of snake, and this opens up a whole new can of worms. Snake gods in mythologies around the world are often associated with shapeshifters. In Christianity and Catholicism, it was a snake who tempted Adam and Eve with the forbidden fruit. Revered, but also feared. So whatever the case, I think we can safely assume this girl is bad news. At worst, she could end up being the main antagonist of this whole series, just hiding in plain sight, waiting for the perfect opportunity to lure away our main character. Or she might just want the dick. In the next shot, we get a look at who appears to be the klutz of the show. I'd wager that's largely due to her not being too bright either, as her spill is due to her forgetting she is so well endowed. You can't really blame her though, because with those proportions, there likely isn't much blood getting to her brain. But as her time on screen comes to a close, she does this cutesy wink towards the camera, implying that on some level she knows she's a klutz and isn't going to let it get the best of her. Nice. Her frame is then covered by what I can only assume are more minor characters in the show, but what they've done here, in my opinion, is fantastic. By keeping their designs very chibi, I don't know what their actual characters look like. It creates this sense of anticipation and even mystery at not fully knowing the roles these people will play in the narrative. And on top of that, I'm given almost no time to actually process them. After this, we get a long take of the titular girlfriend looking almost contemplative in the background as she also walks along in the foreground. And in case you didn't notice, one of them is clothed and the other is not. This represents the two selves we all have. The outward-facing self we present to others, and then the person we are on the inside, with all the quirks and imperfections we don't always let show. And as you can see in their motions, they aren't quite in sync, this signifying that at least in this moment there is a clear difference between these two selves, maybe in how she feels towards our main character. Speaking of which, we next get a shot of him in a similar position as we zoom into his eyes and see her reflected in them. This is a much more simplistic shot, suggesting that he only has eyes for her, but we also might be getting a glimpse at his inner self, which is currently solely focused on his girlfriend. Now that aspect could be suggesting that men have a one-track mind, if you will, but I want to refute that notion right here, and what was I talking about again? It doesn't matter. Next we get a shot of the four main girls fading into one another before they then all appear juxtaposed as they sing along with the song. All of this symbolizing that whatever qualities you may find special in a person, they are not as rare as you think, and others with those traits may be closer than you realize. Or it could be indicating that our main girl embodies all of the traits found in these other girls, reinforcing the idea that she is indeed the best ship for our MC. This argument is strengthened by her getting two more shots all to herself, one of which says, "You're the first one" in the background, so yeah, really trying to drive that message home. We then see our main character running off to, honestly, I don't know, as the camera pans up toward the sky before we get any real indication. The shot then holds for a weirdly long time with nothing new happening, but again, there's a reason. Look at this. Look at what they do here. They wait until those pesky credits are off screen before they introduce the next pair of cute anime girls. Being a man of culture, I greatly appreciate their decision to do this, even if during that stretch I thought the video had started to buffer. Anyways, we next see three characters poke their way on screen while you're distracted, before one, who I shall henceforth refer to as Libido Spider-Man, bursts forward, overtaking the screen. I dub him this because, come on, can you think of a better name? We see our MC and what looks like another version of him struggling to hold down our erectile envoy. He's representative of our raw, unfiltered, and in this case, sexual desires, and oftentimes they want to burst out on their own. But we must strive to keep them in check as best we can. A task that, like illustrated here, isn't always the easiest. It is fascinating and really reminds me of Sigmund Freud's theory on the human psyche, and specifically the id. I'll include some links down below if you want to dive deeper. But after this exchange, we get a shot of our main gal running in a, let's call it carefree manner, as we once again meet the supporting cast. Now you might be asking, who the hell are these guys? I don't know. You don't need to know. The opening suggests they're irrelevant as they've appeared on screen for a total of 20 frames. So now you know you can just skip the scenes they're in as nothing interesting is likely to happen. Thanks, OP. We then get to the girls, the latter two of which kindly stop short of snapping the cameraman's neck as they turn. Ultimately, we get back to our main character as he turns towards his girlfriend. The pair convey their feelings in this moment through small gestures and facial expressions as we cut to a wide shot of them in the school's courtyard. They each extend a hand out to each other as our camera pans upward. But if you look closely, you'll notice that they each extended their left hand, leaving their right hand free for, well, exactly what you'd imagine they'd leave their right hand free for. Yeah, that's right, I'm talking about texting! And we find ourselves back at the beginning of the OP, starting the cycle all over again. Is what I wanted to say, but unfortunately the OP isn't quite over yet. Well, I mean, it mostly is. We get a few meaningless shots of outside of the school and then inside a classroom before finally ending on the love letter that set this story in motion. But yeah, that'll just about wrap up the OP for My Girlfriend is a Gal. God, that was stupid. I had to watch this thing so many times, but hopefully you didn't take it too seriously and ultimately got some entertainment out of it, because that's what I wanted. This was my 1,000 and I guess now technically 2 and 3 and almost 4,000 subscriber special, so thank you guys so much. The support is insane. But I'll leave it there, you guys. This one's for you. I'll see you guys next time.